In today's video, I'm going to share with you the main 3 reasons golfers struggle with topping shots, and I'm going to share with you 3 fantastic drills to make sure you never do them again. Check out this video. Forwards. Jon Watts here from the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me out on the golf course. In today's video, as I mentioned there in the intro, we're going to discuss topping the shots or thinning them, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to be focusing today on iron play, and I'm going to give you the top 3 reasons golfers may do this and how we can fix it as well. So it's going to be a real simple video that I'm sure will make a lot of sense to you. If you're new to my channel, you enjoy the content, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can. And if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. If you hit the little bell icon, it notifies you every time a new video goes live. So as I mentioned, I'm going to focus on iron play because this tends to happen when players are more off the deck. Now this could be a fairway, a hybrid or irons, and actually it'd be relevant with any of them. Players don't tend to struggle as much perhaps when the ball's up in the air off a higher tee peg, let's say with a driver. So it tends to be fairway shots. And I'm going to focus on iron play. I have done a video on talking about how to not top your fairway wood, and of course I'll put the link just here, so well worth checking that one out as well. Topping shots, what are we effectively saying? We're saying that by the time we get into impact, the club, instead of getting to the bottom of the golf ball, is striking somewhere up the golf ball. Now, it might not be as extreme as the equator, but is striking higher up the ball. How high it is depends on how poor the shot is. I've seen golfers strike the very top where they'll actually bury the club down into the ground a little bit. If it's a little bit thin, you just may get that low ball flight that might in the winter sting your fingers. Luckily, it's a nice warm day today, so I'll try not to demonstrate any of them at least. So 3 reasons why you may top a golf ball. Let's focus on point number 1, and that's going to be getting your pressure onto your lead side impact. So your lead side is simply the side that is closest to the target. So for me, my left side is a right-handed golfer, and at impact, I want my pressure firmly into my left foot, ideally a little bit more into my left heel. What I see with a lot of golfers who struggle topping the ball is their pressure, you could think of its weight if you like, is actually hanging back behind the golf ball, okay? So we want to try and get to the max by the time we strike the golf ball. I've seen some who go there too early and then back up, and I've seen some who just stay back. We're talking about getting that pressure into that lead foot by the time we hit the golf ball to help us deliver a ball then turf strike. So we're trying to get pressure into our left side for a right-handed golfer, and you can see I'm striking the ground from about the ball onwards. So just doing something simple like that would work really well. The drill that I'm going to share with you is a great one you can do at home with airflow balls on a driving range or a practice area. You need 2 golf balls, and we're going to go about club heads width apart. You're going to set up to the back one. I've got here a mid-iron. This is actually an 8-iron. I've got the ball middle or just forwards the middle, but this forwards one here that's a club head's width ahead is left instep, okay? So it's well forwards in my stance. I'm going to knock that ball away, and I'm going to keep the club where it was, okay? So I'm not going to compensate and lean forwards. I'm going to keep the club where that back ball was, the one that I would normally be hitting from a normal ball position. I'm going to then make a normal backswing. I'm not going to do anything different, but on the downswing, I'm going to focus on striking that ball. To be able to get there, I've got to get my pressure into my lead side, potentially over-exaggerating. I don't mind when you do this, if you actually start walking forwards, which is another drill that you could do, a David Ledbetter drill, hit the shot and actually keep going. But I've got the ball, sorry, the club back where the back ball would have been, and I'm going to try and hit that front golf ball by getting my pressure going forwards. So getting that pressure into my lead side, and I feel like I can keep walking forwards. I got good strike there. I didn't actually take a divot, it doesn't matter. I got good strike, I got the ball airborne. I actually got all that pressure onto my lead side. It felt like I wanted to keep going forwards. Now, to give us some stability with this left side, I'd prefer golfers just to flare that lead foot out. Completely separate topic, but if we turn that lead foot out, it just helps our body rotate when the pressure is going that way. So the 2-ball exercise is great. You could even just do a simple exercise where you're swinging 2 clubs together for added weight as a bit of a warm-up drill. Feel like there's some speed at impact. So my pressure is really getting to that lead side. Now, second point, what I want to see, so topping shots we're talking about, Pressure onto the lead foot impact is number one. We cannot hang back. Number two, what I want to start to see is some arm extension through impact. So we don't want to start to see these arms buckled in. Often coming about when the player does hang back, but we want to try and get some arm extension. Our arms should reach full extension just post impact. So on the downswing, my lead arm, my left arm, is actually straight on the whole way down. I've got some wrist angle in here. We'll talk about wrists in a minute. But my left arm is straight. It's not bent at the elbow. My trail arm, you can see, is. My trail arm is extending into impact. So it's reaching full extension just post impact. So what I want you to do is I want you to just do some little quarter swings, hold the finish position. So around ab height, belt buckle height, that sort of feeling, with the arms extended out here. So we're going to chip them away. We're going to focus on the trail arm is bent, softened, but it's extending into and post impact, and we're going to hold this finish position. So we're trying to get that feeling of arm extension. If our arms are buckled, of course it's pulling the club off the floor, we're more likely to top some shots. So little quarter swings. Ball turf strike. Let me hit one more doing that. Real simple drill. Allow that trail arm to bend, allow it to extend, allow it to straighten. So it's bent here on the backswing, it's extending on the downswing into impact. And I'm holding this finish position just to check my arms are extended. So it's a great one to start to get ball turf strikes. Start with a small movement and then build it up. The last point is just going to be wrist angles. I said top three reasons. So pressure onto lead side, arm extension, wrist angles is my third. If I see a player at impact where their lead wrist is starting to break down this way, the glove logo is almost starting, or watch face is starting to point up this way, we're actually starting, we could think of it as flicking through impact. But when I see a player doing this, the club passes its low point and starts swinging up on the golf ball through impact. Now, it might not be that extreme, but what I'd like to see into impact is my hands slightly leading the golf club, and the feeling that my lead wrist is actually pointing a little bit more down into impact, not pointing up. So I'm trying to get that sensation. Now we could just do an exercise with a T-peg in the end of the grip here, and we try and get that feeling that the T-peg is pointing down into impact. I'm just going to do an exercise with a tour stick to try and get that feeling of my hands being ahead. So I'm again going to go for a small movement, but I'm trying to keep the tour stick away from my body into impact rather than flicking here, and you can see it's going to come back in to hit me. So hard to hit shots like this, but a small swing, trying to get that sensation that my hands are actually slightly ahead of the golf club. I've got that flatter lead wrist or lead wrist pointing down. So I'm just going to actually do some practice feels of that into impact before I go ahead and hit some shots. And again, you could do those little quarter half ones to start with. Let's see if we can get that ball turf strike. So the feeling is my glove logo, watch face is pointing a little bit more down and leading. Ball turf strike, no wasted energy. Got the ball flight in the distance, the direction that I was really looking for. So there are my top three reasons why players would struggle topping a golf ball, and three simple ways you could work on it, whether it's at home, whether it's on a driving range, practice area. There's no excuses. It's just finding those 10 minutes a day just to do some of those drills and exercise and never top an iron shot again. If you have enjoyed the content, if this video has helped you, make sure you hit the thumbs up. As I said at the start, share it with as many golfers as you can and consider subscribing. Cheers guys, we'll see you soon.